we got ourselves more drama from CrunchyRoll. And I watched episode 3 of Takamine-San already. Episode 4 I know is out. But like the censorship, bro, I'm upset not because they're censoring necessarily. Remember, all censorship is bad. It sets a precedence of what they will do in the future. If you censor nipples and other fan service, it doesn't really take away from my experience of the show. So it's just like whatever to me, okay? But the thing that I'm actually upset about is they're censoring shit randomly. Like, it is the most pointless bullshit censoring that I've seen in my life. Because, like, in episode 3, Takamine literally takes a load to her face and she licks it. Yeah, it was a bit pixelated, but you actually showed that. And on top of that, the nipples were present. And I'm like, okay, it looks like we got the episode. I guess Crunchyroll didn't censor it. Later on, there was like random censorship of her ass and her panties, which blows my mind because we already see plenty of her ass and panties in the episode. In the same episode, you already see a bunch of that. But then they arbitrarily, like, randomly censor weird-ass scenes. So I'm like, bro, you're not even like, what are you doing? There is no consistency. There is absolutely no thought process put into the censorship. So that's honestly what I'm pissed off about. Chibi made a video called They Lied to Us. Let's see it.
Any goodwill, and just like that, any goodwill that Crunchyroll managed to build for themselves in this last month was thrown into the garbage bin with the reveal that episode 3 of Please Put Them On indeed is a censored version.
We got to see nipples though.
Now, for those that are out of the loop, let me give a few clarification bits here. For one, there is 3 different versions of Please Put Them On. And the version that episode 1 and episode 2 of Please Put Them On had on Crunchyroll's site
Eternal Virgin
was
Road.
the entire uncensored version of the anime.
Yeah.
However, with episode 3 that was set to air last week, there was a sudden delay. And the delay basically said that it wouldn't air until this week, aka today, Wednesday, on April 23rd of today, aka this very day. However, if you scroll down, you'll notice that episode 3 is somehow already out. It's been out since late last night.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what's going on there, but basically,
we watched it.
Released episode 3, and it is the less censored version, or in this case, it is a censored version, but not the full censored version.
It's like there's like 3 tiers, remember? There's like no censor, less censored, and completely censored. We got the middle, less censored one, but again, it's just the most meaningless censorship, which just blows my mind. Why even do that? Like, what are you actually censoring? Do you even know what you're censoring? Your priorities are just completely out the window.
I'll give clarity to all that in a moment, but the point is that there was a delay last week, and there was really no explanation for it. There was an email that came in, and we got a brief corpo explanation saying that Crunchyroll does not censor content themselves. They just get the broadcasting or the episode from the companies,
they just distribute.
And basically they release it on their platform. However, there was, information out there that there was 3 separate versions of Please Put Them On. We know of the uncensored version, which episode 1 and 2 is what was on Crunchyroll, and then there was a less censored version, which is what episode 3 on Crunchyroll now has, and then there was an entirely censored version. And the thing is with the overall delay last week, there was only 2 explanations that people could have. That was either A, there was a translation issue. For instance, Crunchyroll was like having a hard time with getting the translations out on time, or it was them wanting to censor the said content to some degree, or getting a more censored version, so to speak, of the said content. And it seemed with the lack of response, no communication from Crunchyroll whatsoever, it was leaning more into the line of, yes, they just wanted the censored version. Now, there could be more nuance to this story, but the point of the matter is that Crunchyroll did offer a product, the first 2 episodes of Please Put Them On, with the entire uncensored version from ATX. However, now we are getting a different version that is a more censored version of it, and it is just questionable why they would even do this to begin with.
It's stupid. Are they getting pressured by like big corpos that own them? Like the whole like acquisition with Sony stuff and brands, friendly sponsored deals and stuff like that, and they want to just like give like a can you even call this a PG-13 friendly censorship? You can't. I mean, an 18 plus logo literally exists, right? There is a category that says 18 plus on set. Like, don't they have like even more raunchier animes on Crunchyroll? You're not getting rid of those. So why do it with this? Because it's more recent? That like, because it's more modern and recent, it's lingering on people's minds more recently, that it's gonna impact like what, sponsorships, brand deals, advertisement? I don't think any of that really matters. Like, I just don't get it. It's just corporate bureaucracy, miscommunication, all just fucking up. And we have the most inconsistent censorship. Remember, I'm not mad necessarily about the censorship. I'm mad about their lack of like awareness and what to even censor. Randomly just placing, chibi like Shirota faces on her ass when we clearly saw her ass just like 30 seconds ago makes no sense to me.
Now, one thing I will say, and I do want to point out, is that Episode 3 is out here, as you can see. However, if you take a look here, it says that a new episode will apparently come out today. Yeah. And, I mean, I will give CrunchyRoll the benefit of the doubt here. I doubt I'm correct, but I will give them the benefit of the doubt there is a way out of this. Maybe the version we got late last night, which is the less censored version, maybe we're going to have two different versions of Please Put Them On that airs on CrunchyRoll's site. AKA, we're going to have the less censored version, and then the fully uncensored version. I mean,
episode 4 is already out by this point. We know that that's not the case, right?
See something like that happening. However, if I had to really be honest here, this is most likely just a bug on their site. Most likely they haven't updated it or whatever, because maybe they internally don't know that this is still showing or whatever. I think that this most likely doesn't really mean anything. However, there always is a chance that when, the normal schedule of an episode releasing today comes around, maybe they will, actually release the fully uncensored version of episode 3. But getting back into the main point, at least what we have currently right now with this evolving story, CrunchyRoll has released a more censored version. And to kind of give clarity to the differences between these versions, let's start with that. So, the uncensored version is what we expected, what we got from episode 1 and episode 2 of the anime thus far.
Episode 2 didn't really have any fan service, so I guess it doesn't really matter. There was that scene with him like putting his knee onto her coochie, but it wasn't, again, when I think about censorship, I'm thinking, does the nipples exist or not? That seems to be like the main important thing for me. Even on Twitch too, bro. Like, you can watch anything, but as soon as you see anime nipples, boom, they're like, nope, it's bad.
Shows everything. Actually shows everything. Then you have the less censored version, which is what this episode is. And the less censored version, more or less, does show a lot. It shows
you show the nipples,
above the waist, but anything below is completely censored,
which is not completely true, because again, we see her ass. We see her panties. And then the censored stuff, there's a scene when she's riding the bicycle with no panties on, sure, but they're not going to show the whole coochie. It's just her ass from behind. I guarantee you. And then there's also a frontal panty shot, which gets censored, even though, like, 5 minutes before, we saw a frontal panty shot with no censor. Again, this is so ridiculous that I'm not even fucking making an analytical commentary about, oh, we saw the panty frontal here at this second, but 30 seconds later it didn't. I know how ridiculous it sounds. It's just, I'm just pissed that they are trivially censoring shit without any idea what they're doing. But at the end of the day, it's not like CrunchyRoll is the one censoring, right? It's the actual like studio and the producers doing it. So I'm questioning, what the fuck are you prioritizing there?
Stickers and the MC popping up, aka it looks like something like this, where the main character's face appears to censor said character's body. So this is the less censored version, as you can see on screen here. And then you have the fully uncensored version, which means that if there's anything showing whatsoever at all on the character's bodies, completely with the stickers or the main character's faces appearing on it. So that is the differences between the versions. So basically, CrunchyRoll got rid of the uncensored version, or it seems to be, and they're now getting the less censored version, which censors anything, for instance, below the waist. The question I have here is why?
What's the point?
Why do this? So that is the big fundamental question I think all of us are asking right now. Is this intentional? Did CrunchyRoll...
Well, it's not CrunchyRoll that's doing it, right? Because again, they're just distributing. If what they say are right, they are simply distributing the anime that they've received. When did they always, from Japanese TV though, did they always have 3 separate versions though? I don't know the complete like track record of how this happened, but I'm assuming that they always had 3 separate versions for Japanese TV and different like distribution platforms. And then, not always? Yup. Duality of chat. One motherfucker saying, it was never always like that. The other one saying, yup, it was like that. Fuck both of you.
Just pull another interspecies reviewers. What really is going on here? If I had to take an educated guess, okay, there is a few ways this can go. One, CrunchyRoll got this series. They were somehow unaware of what they got their hands on. Because I want to remind everybody, because I talked about it last week, Crunchyroll might not be Funimation, but a lot of their ex-employees and stuff was merged into Crunchyroll and a lot of their policies as well. And as we all know what happened with interspecies reviewers, Funimation got a hold of that series. It was very clear they had no idea what property they got a hold of, because they were grabbing as many licenses as they could from Japan to be able to basically get a one-up on their competition. aka like High Dive, for instance, Crunchyroll at the time, Netflix, you get the point. So it was very clear that Funimation was just grabbing a bunch of stuff just to get as many properties as they could and kind of stranglehold their competition. And then, after a few episodes passed, there was some controversy around
They didn't realize that it was going to be a show like that. So what, you're going to assume that Crunchyroll also accidentally picked this up, but didn't realize what they were actually showing? And after episode 1, they're like, okay, we need to censor this? Maybe?
Species reviewers, Funimation just straight up dropped the series. Like, you cannot legally watch it pretty much anywhere. And it's just questionable. It's like, why even pick it up to begin with? And they were even English dubbing it. And so we fast forward to today. Obviously, Funimation has been merged into Crunchyroll. They have a similar structure now. You can assume that this could be a lesser version of what happened to interspecies.
Yeah, I hear that High School DxD also had like different versions. You know, the nipples being censored with like that little heart devil floating things. I remember looking for those.
Reviewers. Maybe Crunchyroll, some people, the head honchos at the top doing the business decisions, had no idea what property somehow they got a hold of. I don't know how that's possible, but once again, this has happened before with certain individuals in charge when it came to Funimation. So it's not entirely unlikely to assume maybe a similar situation to that happened with Please Put Them On. Now, obviously, this might not be true, and it could be entirely something else going on behind the scenes, which we got to get into the next segment, the delay of last week. With the episode delay, there's only a few ways to take it, as I already mentioned. You could take it as a problem with translations, or they wanted to get a censored version.
Yes.
That's the only way to really take it. And with the lack of response from Crunchyroll and not really wanting to elaborate on the situation, because they basically never want to be transparent, they rather be silent and completely, like, be really rude or just, kind of a brick wall to their, customers.
Technically, there was that one email in that last video, right? That, like, there was, like, a response from Crunchyroll, a very corporate email, but still nonetheless very, like, polite and respectful. And like, hey, thanks for reaching out. They were very ambiguous about it, right? There was no actual details given. But still, at least they responded with that one email. But yeah, most mega corporations like this are not going to have one-on-one interactions with random people saying shit. And they probably, it's not in their best interest to make a public announcement saying, oh, sorry, you know, we're going to back off from Takamine-San because of titties. And then imagine the public backlash, right? They're in this impossible situation.
This is a typical Crunchyroll response. They're not going to give us an answer, which in turn is going to allow people to have the narrative that it is definitely for censorship reasons, which I don't blame people. I mean, we've already seen examples.
What else could it be?
This, and when you have them get a censored version, in comparison to what they've already been showing, it makes a lot of sense why people, myself included, would have that impression about Crunchyroll. So what I really want to say about this situation is that even if you don't care about please take them off, like you don't care about this anime in general, it doesn't change the fact that it is completely, it's honestly in some ways false advertising, because I want to point this out again, that the anime legitimately has this advisory on it.
We're getting scammed, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting absolutely scammed right now. When will I watch episode 3? We already watched episode 3 last night. Are you new here? What are you talking about? Did you not? Did you even listen to what I said in the beginning of this video, bro? When I said, did you not hear me describe that they showed her nipples? They showed her taking a fucking load to the face, and then she licked it. Are you genuinely that slow? Jesus fucking Christ. Chat is extra dumb today, huh?
It straight up says it.
Anyways, we're getting scammed right now. There's an 18+ nudity tag on it, and we're getting scammed. Now, technically, the 18+ nudity tag, right? We did get to see the nipples. I guess that is still nudity, right? So, is it really false advertisement? Honestly, the only things that they're completely censoring again is like random ass shit that makes no sense, like frontal panty shot and an ass shot when she's riding the bike with no panties, but they're still not showing the coochie, bro. Like, I'm pissed off at Crunchyroll for different reasons, right? I'm again all censorship is bad. It sets a bad precedence, and there's gonna be people coming in saying, "Oh my god, just watch hentai instead." It's not about that. Stop coming in here with the most unproductive, stupid ass, I'm dunking on the incels take. Shut the fuck up. It's not about the nipples. It's about the precedent that it sets. But beyond that, it's like, okay, now you're censoring. What are you actually censoring? Random bullshit. I watched the episode and it blew my mind that you would not censor her taking a load to the face. I don't care if it's pixelated. You would not censor the nipples. But you would censor her frontal panty shot, which we have seen plenty of times in the same episode, which just blows my mind, and it makes me question, like, who the fuck is, it's like they have a fucking relay, and they're just fucking throwing shit at it and be like, you know what, fuck it, censor this, censor that. There's no thought process put into it.
Right here, it's not like it's trying to hide it. They have these warning labels on this.
Now, okay, you know what? Hold up. Enough of dunking on the censorship. I just thought about this thought process. What if they're actually helping us out? Hear me out. Instead of thinking about this as they are randomly censoring shit because they don't really know what to censor, it's more of, okay, the censorship needs to exist. But in order to appease the fans, we will censor random bullshit that honestly doesn't matter while still giving you all the goods. You know what I'm saying? So if we approach it with that mindset, suddenly, dub censorship, whoever's censoring it, it's like, damn, they're actually helping us out, and they're just censoring random bullshit in order to fulfill a quota, a check mark, while still giving fans the actual shit, you know? Now, that's a very positive perspective about this, right? We're really giving the benefit of the doubt here. I still don't know who the hell is actually censoring this shit, because apparently, CrunchyRoll, again, just distributes it, and I'm assuming from Japan, they're the ones censoring it. Who really knows? But there's that angle, too. You never know.
Show, it's always been there, and I'm going to be blunt, they have other series on this platform that shows almost as much as this, or even more. And the fact that they're still on completely fine, I'm just like, what's going on here? Why are you doing this? I mean, at the end of the day, it might be something to do with licensing. Maybe there's some issues with these different broadcasting stations or whatever with the different versions of Please Put Them On. But once again, the lack of transparency just makes it awful. And it makes people kind of, once again, resent Crunchyroll and not really want to subscribe to them. Because it's like, when there is a version out there that you can watch for free,
high seas, baby,
completely uncensored, people are going to go to it. Like, I want to point out, the episode aired perfectly fine in Japan last week, okay? And people that are into the show are going to watch it in other ways. They're not going to wait on Crunchyroll. And so if they're going to give you an inferior product, people are going to go other ways. Just going to keep it real. Which, that's another thing. So, what Crunchyroll could do here to rectify this issue is a few things. They could be transparent and say what happened, okay?
Unlikely.
And try to say, no, we aren't trying to censor. That would bring some goodwill back. And if it is something to do with licensing, be honest about it. Just be straight up honest. I feel like people would be willing to...
Yeah, I think that brutal honesty and coming saying, hey, listen, guys, we have these limitations, and for these reasons, we have to put the censorship out. I understand that you're upset, and we wouldn't, fault you for trying to source out the uncensored version through different means, but it is what it is. I hope you understand. I think that would be such a positive reflection on Crunchyroll, and it would also show that, hey, there's an open channel of communication and they're actually willing to talk to the community, which is, I think, goes such a long way. But they want to be a fucking brick wall, acting as if they're too high and mighty to talk to the audience. That's how platforms die, man. And it's no surprise to me that everyone hates Crunchyroll and constantly, the Crunchyroll viewership keeps dying down because of said reasons.
Work with Crunchyroll more if they actually were just blunt, if it was a licensing issue or something. But at this time, it looks like just blatant censorship. If they were to offer different versions, maybe if they offered a censored version and an uncensored version, then okay, that'd be completely fine. I mean, once again, I don't see why anyone would want to watch a show like this and watch a censored version of it. It makes no sense. But if they offered both versions, that would be completely fair as well. But, like I said,
Yeah, what? Intentionally watching this shit censored through Crunchyroll? It's like going to McDonald's and asking for like a diet salad. Sorry, does that even make sense? A diet salad? A salad with Diet Coke. Like, what are you doing? You're going to a fast food restaurant. You know what you're getting yourself into. Just fucking lean in. Why are you trying to act healthy all of a sudden? Now then, you're going to tell me, why are you watching the censored version? so that I can cover content like this, right? I just directly source off of Crunchyroll and then we kind of watch it through them and we get to dunk on their subs and blah, blah, blah. I was also thinking that maybe the censorship would prevent, you know, basically extra work being needed to done for my editor, Sir Gregor. There's like different reasons as a content creator why I would do that. But for the average consumer, it's like, why would you ever do this?
I feel like in general, it's a bad look, it's not good, and it seems like our fears have been realized when it comes to the show. Now, I want to point out again, apparently there's supposed to be a new episode coming out today. This is probably a glitch,
back to back.
But we will see once more...
No. We already have episode 4 came out, right? Yeah, I got episode 4 right here. They did a back-to-back release, obviously, because episode 3 was last week's, but it just released yesterday. And today, which of this recording, it should technically be a Wednesday, right? We already got back-to-back, so it'll be interesting to see what they got us in store for us today.
4 hours pass and...
It's uncensored completely? We'll see. We'll see what happens with the episode.
The official release of apparently this episode comes out today. We will see if there's a new episode 3 or not. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. May all of you have a fantastic day or night wherever you live. And Chibi out.
That's pretty much it. Just the most confusing situations with Crunchyroll not really knowing what they're doing, maybe? Not communicating properly, which has always been the case with them. They could just come out and just be transparent, and I think it would really add into the good faith of the people that want to support this platform. But the more that you do shit like this, it's just so hard to support such platforms. No wonder people resort to piracy, because it's a service issue at the end of the day. To me, again, the lack of nipples or therefore of, it doesn't impact my experience watching this show, right? I don't care. I'm not a horny 14-year-old kid that sees titties and go, oh my god, this is the peak thing ever, peak fiction. Don't care. But it's all censorship is bad. Such a bad precedence. And on the topic of the lack of consistency in the censorship, censoring stuff that shouldn't really matter, but then completely letting Takamine taking a load to her face, no matter how pixelated, that blows my mind. So in that aspect, again, let's put our conspiracy tinfoil hat on and think, what if they're helping us out, man? What if they are basically helping us out by, again, fulfilling a checkmark or a quota of, oh, it's censored episodes, but they censor the stuff that doesn't really matter to give us, the fans, the actual goods. That's kind of a good way to think about this, huh? Maybe a little bit too idealistic. Please check out Chibi's video. Here's a link to the video. Go check it out. Go give it a like, and I'll see you next time.